The coffee cup shattered against the break room wall, and Kendra didn't flinch. She'd learned not to react. The Korean women who'd thrown it were already laughing, speaking rapid Korean they assumed she couldn't understand. Did you see how tight her pants were today? Like stuffing a pillow into a grocery bag. Maybe she doesn't know. Americans have no shame about their bodies. Korean men would never look at someone like that. She should go back home. Kendra kept her eyes on her phone, fingers white around the edges. 2 years in Seoul, and she still wasn't used to it. Being invisible was supposed to be the goal. That's why she'd come here in the first place, halfway across the world from Detroit, from Marcus, from the police reports and the restraining order that hadn't stopped him from showing up at her apartment with flowers and threats in the same breath. Seoul was supposed to be her erasure. A logistics coordinator job that required no Korean language skills, a tiny apartment in Mappogu where her neighbors never made eye contact, a life so small and quiet that no one would ever find her worth noticing again. It was working. She'd become a ghost. The break room emptied. Kendra waited 3 full minutes before standing, before sweeping up the ceramic shards with hands that had finally stopped shaking. She'd gotten good at cleaning up other people's messes without complaint. That's what invisible people did. Her phone buzzed. Her supervisor's name flashed across the screen. Kendra, I need you in conference room 3. Now, we have a new client doing a facility inspection. She checked her reflection in the darkened microwave door. Oversized cardigan, black pants, hair pulled back tight. Maximum invisibility. Good. Conference room 3 was on the executive floor, a place she'd only been twice in 2 years. The hallway smelled like expensive cologne and fear. Through the glass wall, she could see her supervisor, Mr. Park, sweating through his shirt despite the air conditioning. Next to him stood 3 men in dark suits. And 1 man who made the air feel different. He was tall for a Korean man, probably 6 feet, with sharp features that looked carved rather than born. His suit was black and perfectly tailored, and he stood completely still in a way that made everyone else look frantic. When Kendra opened the door, his eyes moved to her. Just his eyes, nothing else. "This is Kendra Williams," Mr. Park said, his voice climbing half an octave. "She handles all our international logistics. Kendra, this is Mr. Cha and his associates from Seongnam Trading Company." Mr. Cha. The name felt wrong in her supervisor's mouth, too small for whatever this man actually was. "Ms. Williams," his English was perfect, with a British accent that surprised her. "I understand you manage the shipping manifests for European and American imports." "Yes," she kept her voice steady, professional. "I coordinate with customs, manage documentation, and oversee container inspection protocols. There's a discrepancy in last month's shipment from Hamburg." He slid a folder across the table. "Container HM 4782, can you explain this?" Kendra opened the folder. Her chest tightened. The manifest listed automotive parts. The weight measurements didn't match. She'd flagged this exact shipment 3 weeks ago, sent it up the chain to Mr. Park, and been told to process it anyway. She looked at her supervisor. His face had gone pale. "The weight discrepancy suggests additional cargo not listed on the manifest," Kendra said carefully. "I noted this in my report on September 23rd. And yet the shipment was processed." Mr. Cha's voice didn't rise, but Mr. Park flinched anyway. "I was instructed to approve it by senior management." The room went silent. One of Mr. Cha's associates whispered something in Korean. Kendra understood. "She's throwing Park under the bus." Mr. Cha held up one hand. The whispering stopped. "You were correct to flag it," he said to Kendra. "The error was in ignoring your assessment. That won't happen again." He closed the folder. The meeting was over. Mr. Park looked like he might vomit. As everyone filed out, Kendra felt it. That gaze again. She turned. Mr. Cha was still seated, looking at her the way someone might look at a painting they were considering buying. Not sexual, exactly. Worse, appreciative, calculating. "Yes," she asked. "Nothing," but he didn't look away. "You're very thorough, Ms. Williams." It's my job. Yes, a pause. It is. She left quickly, skin prickling. Back at her desk, Kendra pulled up Seongnam Trading Company on her computer. The website was sleek and corporate. Import-export, luxury goods, completely legitimate. She switched to Korean search engines, typed the company name in Hangul. The results were different. News articles from 5 years ago about a warehouse fire, 3 workers dead, investigation closed. In the comments section, people used careful language, euphemisms, the kind of words you used when you couldn't say what you meant without consequences. Kendra's hands went cold. She clicked back to the English results, cleared her search history, and tried to focus on work. At 6 p.m., she took the subway home, standing in the packed car with her bag clutched to her chest. The apartment was quiet when she opened the door. It was always quiet. She made ramyeon, ate it standing at the counter, and was asleep by 9. The next morning, there was a coffee on her desk, iced Americano from the expensive place 3 blocks away. No note. "Did you order this?" she asked her desk neighbor, Jihoon. Jihoon looked at it like it might explode. "No, maybe wrong desk." But it was Kendra's usual order. Iced Americano, extra shot, no sugar. She didn't drink it. At lunch, she went to the convenience store, and he was there. Mr. Cha, standing in the refrigerated section, looking at nothing. Kendra froze in the doorway. He turned, saw her, and something that might have been surprise crossed his face. But it was gone too quickly to be real. "Ms. Williams." "Mr. Cha." "I didn't expect to see you here." Liar. Every instinct in her body screamed liar. "I work nearby," she said. "Yes, I know." He selected a bottle of water, paid without looking at the cashier, and walked past her, close enough that she smelled his cologne, something expensive and cold. At the door, he paused. "The coffee was too much. I apologize. I was simply impressed by your work yesterday." Then he was gone. Kendra bought a kimbap. She didn't eat and walked back to the office with her heart racing. That afternoon, Mr. Park called her into his office. He looked like he hadn't slept. "Seongnam Trading is now our primary client," he said. "Effective immediately. You'll be the point person for all their logistics needs. This is a significant promotion, Kendra. Significant bonus. Don't mess this up." "I didn't ask for this." "They asked for you." Mr. Park's smile was bitter, specifically by name. She wanted to refuse, but she'd learned what happened to people who made waves. Marcus had taught her that refusing was just another way to provoke. "When do I start?" "You already have." He slid another folder across the desk. "Weekly meetings, their office in Gangnam, Tuesdays and Fridays. A car will pick you up." The car was black, expensive, and silent. The driver didn't speak. Kendra sat in the back and watched Seoul slide past the tinted windows, trying not to feel like cargo. Seongnam Trading's office was in a skyscraper near COEX. The lobby was marble and violence. Security guards with earpieces. Metal detectors disguised as art. Mr. Cha's assistant met her on the 14th floor. Young, pretty, terrified. "Mr. Cha is finishing a call. Please wait." The waiting room had floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Kendra stood with her bag gripped tight, rehearsing professional distance. The door opened. "Ms. Williams, thank you for coming." His office was exactly what she expected. Minimalist, expensive, cold. A desk that probably cost more than her annual salary. And photos. Actual family photos on the credenza. A woman who might be his mother. A teenage girl, maybe a sister. Humanizing details that somehow made him more frightening. "Please sit." She sat, he didn't. "I want to be clear about our working relationship," he said. "I value competence. You demonstrated that in our first meeting. Many people in your position would have protected their supervisor. You protected the truth." "I just did my job." "Exactly." He moved to the window. "I need someone who will continue to do that, no matter who gives contrary instructions. Can you do that, Ms. Williams?" "That depends on the instructions." "Fair answer." He turned. The light behind him made his face shadowed. I'm not an easy man to work for. I'm demanding, specific, some would say controlling, but I'm never unclear. You'll always know exactly what I expect. Many people find that refreshing. And what do you expect? Perfection. He said it like he was commenting on the weather. Nothing less. Can you provide that? Every alarm in Kendra's body was screaming. This wasn't about logistics. This was about something else, something she couldn't name but recognized in the way his eyes never quite left her. I can do my job well, she said carefully. That's not what I asked. It's the only answer I have. For the first time, he smiled. It wasn't warm. Good, I don't trust people who make promises they can't keep. He sat down finally, across from her, close. Let's discuss the Hamburg situation. They worked for 2 hours. Actual work. Shipping routes, customs protocols, vendor reliability. He was exactly as demanding as he'd warned. He caught every small error, questioned every assumption, pushed until she had to admit when she didn't know something. But he didn't humiliate her for it. He just noted it and moved on. By the end, Kendra's head was pounding, and she'd filled 6 pages of notes. That's enough for today, Mr. Cha said. Same time Friday. She gathered her things quickly. Ms. Williams. She stopped at the door. You're very controlled, he said. Most people show more emotion when they're uncomfortable, but not you. You've learned to hide it. Her spine went rigid. That's very interesting to me, he continued. This hiding, I find myself wondering what you're hiding from. I'm not hiding from anything. No, he tilted his head. Then why did you come to Korea 2 years ago with no friends, no connections, and a job you're overqualified for? Why do you dress like you're trying to disappear? Why do you never make eye contact in elevators? Kendra's throat closed. I notice things, he said softly. Details, patterns, it's what I do. And you, Ms. Williams, are a woman who desperately wants not to be noticed. That's why you caught my attention. I need to go. Of course, he stood. The car will take you home. See you Friday. She practically ran to the elevator. That night, Kendra couldn't sleep. She lay in her narrow bed and stared at the ceiling, heart racing. He knew, not the details maybe, but the shape of it. He'd seen her fear and named it. And worse, much worse. He was interested in it. Her phone buzzed at 2 a.m. Unknown number. I apologize if I made you uncomfortable today. That wasn't my intention. She stared at the message. How did he have her personal number? She didn't respond. Another message. You don't have to reply. I just wanted you to know you're safe. I would never hurt you, Kendra. The use of her first name felt like fingers on her skin. She blocked the number. The next morning, there were flowers on her desk. White orchids, expensive in a crystal vase. Jihoon whistled. Secret admirer. No, Kendra threw them in the trash. At lunch, her phone buzzed. Different number. The flowers were too much. I understand. I'm still learning the appropriate boundaries. She blocked that number too. Friday came too quickly. The black car picked her up at 1 p.m. Different driver, same silence. This time, Mr. Cha's office door was open. He was on the phone, speaking rapid Korean. When he saw her, he held up one finger. Wait. Kendra waited in the doorway, not entering without permission. He ended the call. Come in, close the door. She left it open. His eyes flickered to the door, then to her. You don't trust me. I don't know you. Fair, he gestured to the chair. We should fix that. Sit, please. She sat on the edge of the seat, bag in her lap like a shield. I've upset you, he said. The coffee, the flowers, the messages, I can see that. I'm not good at this. At what? Interest. He said it clinically, like he was discussing a business transaction. When I want something, I usually just take it, but that doesn't work with people, not the way I want it to work. Mr. Cha. Jihoon, my name is Jihoon. Mr. Cha, I think there's been a misunderstanding. No misunderstanding. He leaned forward. I saw you in that conference room and I couldn't stop thinking about you, the way you spoke, the way you refused to be intimidated, the way you exist in your body like you're apologizing for taking up space. His voice dropped. You shouldn't apologize. You're exactly what I want. Kendra stood up. I'm here to work. If that's not what this job is, I need to leave. Sit down. No. They stared at each other. His face was unreadable. You think I'm threatening you, he said finally. Aren't you? No, he stood slowly, hands visible, non-threatening. But I understand why you'd think that. Men with power are dangerous to women, especially women who have been hurt before. You don't know anything about me. I know you came to Korea on a work visa 2 years ago. I know you send money to a P.O. box in Detroit every month. I know you haven't dated anyone since you arrived. I know you take the same route home every day, that you eat dinner alone, that you sleep with your lights on. He paused. I know someone hurt you badly enough that you crossed an ocean to escape. Kendra's hands were shaking. How do you? I told you. I notice things. And when I'm interested in something, I learn everything about it. That's not interest, that's stalking. Yes, no denial, no excuse, just acknowledgement. I suppose it is, but I'm not him, Kendra, whoever he was. I'm not trying to hurt you. Then what are you trying to do? He moved closer, not touching, but close enough that she had to tilt her head back to look at him. I'm trying to make you understand that you don't have to hide anymore, not from me. I don't want this. Are you sure? His voice was barely a whisper. Or are you just afraid of wanting it? She should leave. She should run. She should report him to HR, to the police, to someone. But his eyes weren't cruel. They were hungry, yes, but also patient, like he could wait forever for her answer. I need time, she heard herself say. Take all you need. He stepped back. But I'm not going away. I want to be very clear about that. I've decided you're mine, Kendra. I'm just waiting for you to decide the same thing. That's insane. Probably, he smiled, and this time it reached his eyes. But I've never been accused of being reasonable. The meeting was business after that. Roots and manifests and customs codes. He was professional, focused, brilliant, like the conversation before hadn't happened. But when she left, he walked her to the elevator. Same time next week, he said. What if I don't come? Then I'll come to you, not a threat, a promise. I'm patient, Kendra, but I'm also inevitable. The sooner you accept that, the easier this will be. The elevator doors closed on his face. Kendra made it home, locked her door, and threw up in the toilet. For 3 days, Kendra didn't hear from him. No messages, no flowers, no unexpected appearances at the convenience store. She should have been relieved. Instead, she found herself checking her phone constantly, jumping at every notification. On the 4th day, her supervisor called her into his office again. Seongnam Trading is expanding their contract, Mr. Park said. He looked exhausted, like he'd aged 5 years in 2 weeks. They want you to handle their premium client shipments. It comes with another raise, substantial. What kind of shipments? Art, luxury vehicles, high-value items that require specialized handling. He slid a contract across the desk. Sign this, non-disclosure agreement, standard procedure for clients of this caliber. Kendra read it carefully. The NDA was aggressive, 7 years of silence about any business dealings, penalty clauses that would bankrupt her, and buried in the legal language, a clause that made her stomach drop. Employee agrees to be available for client consultation at any hour, including outside standard business locations. This says I have to be available 24/7, that I might have to meet clients outside the office. Premium service requires premium availability. Mr. Park's voice was flat. Sign it or don't, but Seongnam specifically requested you. If you refuse, they'll pull the entire contract. Do you know what that means for this company, for my job, for yours? She thought about her apartment, her visa, the ocean between her and Detroit. About Marcus and the way he'd smiled when the judge gave her the restraining order, like it was a challenge instead of a boundary. She signed. That night, her phone buzzed at 11 p.m. His number. She hadn't blocked this one yet. "Thank you for signing. I know it made you uncomfortable, but I promise I'll never abuse that access." She stared at the message for 10 minutes before typing. "How did you know I signed it?" "I know everything that concerns you." "Get some sleep, Kendra, you look tired." She jumped up, ran to her window. The street below was empty except for a black car parked under the streetlight. As she watched, it pulled away. Her hands were shaking so hard she could barely type. "Stop watching me." "I can't." "Try." "No." She threw her phone across the room. It hit the wall and clattered to the floor, screen intact. When she picked it up, there was another message. "I'm not trying to frighten you. I'm trying to take care of you. There's a difference." "I don't need taking care of." "Everyone needs taking care of. You've just forgotten what that feels like." She turned off her phone and didn't turn it back on until morning. The next Tuesday meeting was different. When Kendra arrived at his office, there were two other people there. A woman in her 50s with severe features and a younger man with nervous eyes. "Ms. Williams, this is Mrs. Yoon, my head of security, and Daniel Choi, my financial director. They'll be joining us today." It was almost normal, almost professional. They discussed shipping routes for a client's car collection, insurance requirements, customs protocols. Mrs. Yoon asked sharp questions. Daniel took meticulous notes. Jihoon barely looked at Kendra. When it ended, relief flooded through her. Maybe she'd imagined the intensity. Maybe he'd moved on. "Ms. Williams, a moment please." Jihoon's voice stopped her at the door. The others filed out. The door clicked shut. "You seem relieved," he said. "I don't know what you mean." "Yes, you do. You thought I'd embarrass you in front of my staff, that I'd make some inappropriate comment or touch you without permission." He walked to his desk, poured 2 glasses of water from a crystal pitcher. "I would never do that. What happens between us is private." "Nothing is happening between us." "Not yet." He held out a glass. "Drink. You're dehydrated. You always forget to drink water when you're nervous." She didn't take it. "How would you know that?" "I pay attention." He set the glass down within her reach. "I've been paying attention for weeks now. I know you bite your lip when you're thinking, that you tuck your hair behind your left ear when you're uncomfortable, that you hold your breath when you're afraid but don't want to show it, like you're doing right now." He was right. She forced herself to breathe. "Why?" she asked. "Why me?" "Honestly," he leaned against his desk, "I don't entirely know. I've been with beautiful women, sophisticated women, women who understood my world and fit into it perfectly. But when I saw you in that conference room, something just clicked. The way you stood your ground, the way you didn't smile to make anyone comfortable, the way you take up space like you're borrowing it instead of owning it." He paused. "I wanted to see what you'd look like if you stopped apologizing for existing." "That's not yours to see." "Not yet," he said again. "But it will be. Because I'm patient and you're lonely, Kendra. You're so lonely you've convinced yourself isolation is safety. But it's not. It's just another kind of prison." She grabbed the water and threw it in his face. He didn't move, didn't flinch. Water dripped from his hair, his expensive shirt, onto the floor. "Feel better?" he asked calmly. "No." "Good. Anger is better than fear. Anger means you still think you have power here." He pulled out his phone, pressed a button. "Mrs. Yoon, please bring me a towel. Yes, I spilled something, thank you." He dried his face without taking his eyes off her. "You can leave now," he said. "But Kendra, next time you want to throw something at me, use the glass. Water is too kind." She left without responding. That Friday, she didn't go to the meeting. She called in sick, stayed home, kept her phone off. At 7 p.m., someone knocked on her door. Kendra froze. Her apartment building required a key card for entry. No one should be able to get to her floor without her approval. The knock came again, patient, persistent. She looked through the peephole. Jihoon stood in the hallway, holding a bag from the pharmacy. "I know you're looking at me," he said, voice calm. "Please open the door. I brought medicine for your cold." "I don't have a cold." "I know. But you told your supervisor you did, so I'm playing along. Open the door, Kendra. No. Then I'll wait out here. Your neighbors will start asking questions eventually. She opened the door 3 inches, chain still engaged. How did you get in? I own the building. Of course he did. What do you want? To make sure you're actually sick and not avoiding me. He held up the bag. And to bring you this. Medicine, ginger tea, the soup from the place near your office that you like. I didn't tell you I like that soup. No, but you order it every Wednesday. I assumed that meant you liked it. He lowered the bag. Are you going to let me in? No. Are you afraid of me? Yes. Good, you should be. His voice was still calm, almost gentle. I'm a dangerous man, Kendra. I've done things that would horrify you. I've hurt people, destroyed lives. I'm not the hero of any story, especially not yours. But I've never lied to you, and I won't start now. So when I tell you I won't hurt you, I mean it. I will consume you, possess you, probably suffocate you with attention. But I will never raise my hand to you, never humiliate you, never make you small. That doesn't make this okay. I know. He set the bag down outside her door. But it's all I can offer. Eat the soup. Take the medicine even though you're not sick, and come to the meeting on Tuesday. Because if you don't, I'll assume you're trying to run, and I'll have to take measures to prevent that. That's a threat. Yes. He started walking away, then turned back. But it's also a promise. I won't let you disappear, Kendra. You've been invisible long enough. He left. She waited 5 minutes before opening the door fully and grabbing the bag. The soup was still hot. She ate it, hatting herself for how good it tasted. Tuesday came. She went to the meeting. Jihoon didn't mention her absence. They worked for 3 hours on a complicated shipment of art pieces from Italy. He was professional, focused, brilliant. When they finished, he said, I have something to show you. Will you come with me? Where? Downstairs, to the garage. Every instinct screamed no, but she was tired of being afraid, tired of running. Marcus had taught her that refusing sometimes made things worse. Fine. The elevator descended into the parking garage. His car was parked in a private section, separated by a gate that required both a key card and a fingerprint. It wasn't a car. It was 3 cars. A Mercedes, a Tesla, and something Italian and low to the ground that probably cost more than her childhood home. I want you to choose one, Jihoon said. Why? Because taking the subway at night isn't safe. Because I want you to have options. Because I can afford to give you things and it pleases me to do so. I can't accept a car from you. Why not? Because it would make me obligated to you. You're already obligated to me. You work for me. He pulled out 3 sets of keys, held them up. This isn't about obligation. It's about making your life easier. Choose one. And if I refuse? Then I'll have one delivered to your apartment anyway, and you won't get to pick which one. She stared at him. He stared back, utterly serious. This is insane. Yes, he jangled the keys. Choose. The Tesla, practical, electric, least ostentatious. He handed her the keys. Good choice. Insurance and registration are already handled. It's in your name. How is it already in my name? I assumed you'd choose that one. You're predictable in some ways. He opened the driver's door. Get in. I'll show you the features. For 20 minutes, he explained the car with the focus of a man giving a military briefing. Autopilot, charging stations, emergency contacts already programmed into the system. Why is your number the first emergency contact? She asked. Because if something happens to you, I want to know immediately. That's not normal. I never claimed to be normal. He stepped back. Drive home, carefully, text me when you arrive. I don't have your current number. He rattled it off. She didn't write it down. I'll remember if you don't text, he said. And then I'll worry. And when I worry, I make decisions you won't like. Text me, Kendra. She drove home in a $60,000 car and hated how smooth the ride was. She texted him, home safe. He responded immediately, good girl. The words made something twist in her stomach, not entirely unpleasant. That was the most terrifying part. The gifts didn't stop, they evolved. A standing desk appeared at her office with a note. Your back was hurting. This will help. A gym membership to the place near her apartment. You mentioned wanting to exercise more. Books in Korean. I thought you might enjoy these. The third one is my favorite. Each gift was thoughtful, specific, impossible to refuse without seeming ungrateful. And each one felt like another chain. Mrs. Yoon, his head of security, started appearing at their meetings. She was cold, efficient, and clearly disapproved of Kendra's existence. He's never done this before, she said one day when Jihoon left the room. Pursued someone like this. I'm not being pursued. This is professional. Mrs. Yoon's laugh was sharp. You're either naive or lying to yourself. Jihoon doesn't give gifts. He doesn't notice when employees are tired or what they eat for lunch. But you, he knows everything about you. And when Jihoon fixates on something, he doesn't stop until he owns it. I'm not a thing to be owned. Tell him that. Mrs. Yoon's expression softened slightly. But be careful. The last woman who tried to leave him didn't end well. What happened to her? Nothing violent, nothing illegal. She just disappeared, moved to Singapore with a new job, new apartment, new life, all arranged by him. Mrs. Yoon leaned closer. He made it impossible for her to say no, made himself the only option, and now she calls him twice a month to thank him for his generosity. Kendra's blood ran cold. That's not. Protection, care, love. Mrs. Yoon shook her head. Call it what you want, but understand what you're getting into. Jihoon doesn't love like normal people. He consumes. And once he starts, he doesn't stop until there's nothing left but what he's created. Jihoon returned before Kendra could respond. That night, she researched him properly. Not the corporate websites, but the Korean forums, the whispered stories, the news articles written in careful language. Jihoon Cha, 35, took over his father's business at 23 after the old man died in a car accident that some people didn't think was an accident. Transformed a struggling trading company into an empire. Ruthless, strategic, connected to people in government, in police, in places where questions weren't asked. And the women, there were always women. Beautiful, successful women who appeared on his arm for 3 months, 6 months, never longer than a year. Then they disappeared. Not violently, not scandalously. They just moved on to better jobs, better lives, better opportunities. All provided by him. One woman, a model named Sujin, had given an interview 5 years ago. The journalist asked about Jihoon, and she'd smiled and said, "He was very generous, very attentive. I have nothing but good things to say about him." But her eyes, even in the grainy photo, looked haunted. Kendra closed her laptop and stared at the ceiling. She should run, get on a plane, disappear again. But where would she go? Back to Detroit, where Marcus might still be waiting. To another city where she'd be alone and invisible again. And the terrifying truth was that part of her, a small sick part, didn't want to run. Because Jihoon saw her, really saw her, knew her habits, her fears, her favorite soup, wanted her despite every reason not to. After 2 years of being invisible, being seen felt like standing in sunlight after living in a cave. Blinding, painful, addictive. Her phone buzzed. "You're researching me. I can see the VPN activity on your laptop." She typed quickly, "You're monitoring my computer." "Yes, for your safety." "That's a violation of privacy." "Yes." No excuses, no justification, just acknowledgement. "You don't trust me," she typed. "I don't trust anyone, but I'm giving you all the information anyway. I'm not hiding what I am, Kendra. I'm a monster. But I'm a monster who wants to keep you safe." "From what?" "From everyone, including yourself." She threw the phone down and went to bed without responding. But she didn't block the number. And that was the moment she knew she was in trouble. The next Tuesday, Jihoon was waiting in the lobby instead of his office. "Change of plans," he said. "We have a meeting with a client I want you to observe." "What client?" "Someone who needs to understand the importance of proper logistics. The car ride took 40 minutes into a part of Gangnam Kendra had never seen. Industrial, quiet, the kind of quiet that felt dangerous. They pulled up to a warehouse. Jihoon's men were already there, 6 of them, all dressed in black. "Stay in the car," Jihoon said. "What's happening?" "Business. Stay in the car, Kendra, I mean it." He walked into the warehouse. The door closed behind him. Kendra waited 5 minutes, 10, 15. Then she heard the scream. Kendra's hand was on the door handle before she realized what she was doing. Every instinct screamed at her to stay in the car, to look away, to pretend she hadn't heard anything. But the scream came again, male, terrified. The driver's eyes met hers in the rearview mirror. "Mr. Cha said you should stay." "I know what he said." She opened the door. The warehouse was cold, the kind of cold that had nothing to do with temperature. Industrial lights flickered overhead. In the center of the empty space, a man was on his knees. Blood ran from his nose, his mouth. Jihoon stood in front of him, perfectly calm, not a hair out of place. "I asked you a simple question," Jihoon said in Korean. "Where is my shipment?" "I don't know, I swear I don't." Jihoon nodded. One of his men hit the kneeling man across the face. The crack echoed. Kendra made a sound, small, involuntary. Jihoon's head turned. His eyes found hers across the warehouse. For 3 seconds, nobody moved. Then Jihoon walked toward her, each step deliberate. When he reached her, he took her arm, not roughly, but firmly. He guided her back outside, away from the warehouse, away from the screaming that had started again. "I told you to stay in the car." "What are you doing to him?" "Getting information." His voice was level, matter of fact. "He stole from me. There are consequences for that." "You're torturing him." "Yes." No excuses, no justifications, just yes. Kendra jerked her arm free. "Take me home." "Not yet. This is important for you to understand." "Understand what? That you're a monster." "Yes," he stepped closer. "I told you what I was, Kendra. I told you I'd done terrible things. This is what that looks like. This is who I am when someone crosses me." His hand came up, cupped her face. She flinched but didn't pull away. "And I need you to understand that while I will never hurt you, I will absolutely destroy anyone who tries to take you from me, anyone who threatens you, anyone who makes you afraid." "That's not protection, that's possession." "I know," his thumb brushed her cheek, "but it's all I know how to give." Another scream from inside. Kendra's stomach twisted. "Please," she whispered, "please stop." "I will, when he tells me what I need to know." Jihoon's hand dropped. "Go back to the car, I'll be done in 10 minutes. "I can't." "Yes, you can, you're stronger than you think." He turned back toward the warehouse. "And Kendra, this is the last time I'll show you this part of my life. After today, you'll never have to see this again. But you needed to see it once, so you understand exactly who you're dealing with." He walked back inside. The door closed. Kendra stood in the cold, shaking, listening to sounds she'd never be able to forget. He was right. She needed to see this, needed to understand. She got back in the car. 12 minutes later, Jihoon emerged. His hands were clean. His suit was immaculate. He slid into the seat next to her. "Take us to my apartment," he told the driver. "I want to go home." "I know, but we need to talk and you're in shock. You shouldn't be alone." He looked at her. "I'm not going to hurt you, Kendra, but I'm also not letting you go home like this." She was too numb to argue. His apartment was in Hanamdong, a penthouse that took up the entire top floor. Floor to ceiling, windows overlooked the Han River. Everything was white and black and expensive. And empty, so empty. "Sit," he said, gesturing to the couch. "I'll make tea." "You make tea." "I'm not helpless." He disappeared into the kitchen. Kendra sat, her body moving on autopilot. The apartment was spotless but lifeless. No clutter, no personality. The only personal items were those same photos she'd seen in his office. His mother, the teenage girl. Jihoon returned with 2 cups. Green tea, perfect temperature. Her name is Minji, he said, following her gaze to the photo. My sister. She's 17, lives in the States, boarding school in Massachusetts. She's the only person in the world I love. Does she know what you do? She knows I'm in business. She doesn't know the details. He sat across from her, not next to her, giving her space. She thinks I'm boring, corporate, safe. I'd like to keep it that way. Why are you telling me this? Because you asked, and because I want you to understand that I'm capable of love. It's just selective. He sipped his tea. I'm not a good man, Kendra, but I'm not a mindless monster either. I have rules, lines I don't cross. Like what? I don't hurt women. I don't hurt children. I don't traffic people or drugs. I don't touch anything that destroys lives without consent. He set down his cup. Everything else, fair game. Smuggling, money laundering, blackmail, violence against people who have chosen this life, all acceptable. That's not morality. That's just selective cruelty. Maybe, but it's the best I can do. He leaned forward. What happened in that warehouse tonight? That man stole $2 million worth of merchandise from me. He knew the consequences when he did it. He made a choice, and now he's paying for it. Is he alive? Yes, broken ribs, probably. Definitely won't steal from me again, but alive. You say that like it makes it better. It doesn't, but it's the truth. His eyes searched hers. Are you going to run now that you've seen the real me? Kendra wanted to say yes, wanted to stand up, walk out, never look back. But where would she go? And worse, much worse, some part of her understood him. The rules, the boundaries, the careful lines between chaos and control. It was sick, twisted, wrong. But it was also familiar. I don't know, she said honestly. That's good enough for now. He stood. The guest room is down the hall. Stay tonight. Tomorrow I'll take you home and you can decide what you want to do. I can go home now. You could, but you're shaking and you look like you might throw up. Stay, please. She stayed. The guest room was immaculate, like a hotel. She didn't sleep, just lay in the dark and stared at the ceiling, replaying the sounds from the warehouse. Around 3 a.m., her door opened. Jihoon stood in the doorway, backlit by the hallway light. You're not sleeping, he said. Neither are you. I don't sleep much. He didn't come in. I'm sorry you had to see that tonight. No, you're not. You're right, I'm not. He paused. But I am sorry it upset you, that's different. Why did you want me to see it? So you'd stop wondering, stop imagining. The reality is bad, but imagination is usually worse. Now you know, and you can make an informed decision about whether you can live with it. And if I can't, then I'll let you go. He said it so quietly she almost didn't hear. I'll set you up somewhere safe. New job, new apartment, new life. Somewhere I'll never bother you again. You mean like the woman in Singapore? His jaw tightened. Mrs. Yoon has been talking. Is it true? Yes, her name was Jihoon. She was smart, beautiful, perfect on paper. But she was terrified of me, and I couldn't fix that, couldn't make her understand that I'd never hurt her. So I let her go, made sure she landed somewhere good. He leaned against the doorframe. She sends me Christmas cards, thanks me for her freedom. It's very civilized. Do you regret it? Every day. His voice was raw. But I'd do it again, because keeping someone who's afraid of you isn't love, it's imprisonment, and even I have limits. What makes you think I'm different? Because you're still here. You saw what I did tonight and you're still here, asking questions instead of running. He straightened. And because when I touch you, you don't flinch from fear. You flinch from want, and that's something I can work with. That's arrogant. That's observant. He started to close the door, then stopped. Sleep, Kendra, or don't, but stop torturing yourself. You're safe here, safer than you've been anywhere in years. The door clicked shut. He was right. She did feel safe, and that was the most terrifying thing of all. The next morning, Jihoon drove her home himself. They didn't speak. When he pulled up to her building, he said, "Take the week off. Think about what you want. If you decide you can't do this, text me. I'll make the arrangements. And if I can, then come to the meeting next Tuesday, and we'll move forward." Forward to what? To whatever this becomes. He looked at her. I'm not offering you normal, Kendra. I can't be someone's boyfriend, can't do dinner dates and movies and meeting the family. But I can give you safety, attention, devotion. I can make sure you never feel invisible again. And I can promise that anyone who tries to hurt you will regret it for the rest of their significantly shortened life. That's insane. Yes, he reached over, tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. But you're considering it anyway, because you're lonely and tired, and part of you wants someone to just make the decisions for a while, to take care of the big scary things while you figure out how to exist without apologizing. She got out of the car without responding. But she didn't text him. For 6 days, Kendra existed in limbo. She went to work, avoided her coworkers, came home. The Tesla sat in her parking space, a constant reminder. Her apartment felt smaller, emptier. On the 6th night, someone knocked on her door. She looked through the peephole, and her blood froze. Marcus. Older, heavier, but definitely Marcus. Standing in her hallway in Seoul, 7,000 miles from where he should be. I know you're in there, baby, he called. Saw your car in the garage, nice ride, moving up in the world. Kendra's hands shook as she grabbed her phone. She didn't call the police. She didn't call building security. She called Jihoon. He answered on the first ring. Kendra. He's here, her voice cracked. He found me. Who's there? Marcus, my ex. He's outside my door. Silence. Then, lock yourself in the bathroom. Don't come out until I tell you to. Jihoon. Do it now. She ran to the bathroom, locked the door, sat in the tub with her knees pulled to her chest. Through the door, she heard Marcus's voice getting louder. Come on, Kendra. I came all this way. Just want to talk. Then the door to her apartment splintered. He'd kicked it in. Kendra, Kendra. She bit her fist to keep from screaming. Footsteps through her apartment, close, closer. The bathroom door handle rattled. Then shouting, a crash, the sound of bodies hitting walls. Silence. Kendra, Jihoon's voice calm, it's over, you can come out. She opened the door with shaking hands. Her living room was destroyed. Furniture overturned, lamp shattered. Marcus was on the floor, unconscious, blood running from his temple. Jihoon stood over him, not a mark on him, breathing steady. 3 of his men were there too, holding Marcus down even though he wasn't moving. How did you? I've had someone watching your building since you came to my apartment. Jihoon walked to her, cupped her face. I told you, anyone who tries to hurt you will regret it. Is he? Alive, unfortunately. Jihoon's thumb brushed her cheek. But he won't bother you again, I promise you that. What are you going to do to him? Nothing permanent, just educational. His eyes were cold. He'll wake up on a plane back to Detroit with no memory of how he got there, and a very clear understanding that if he ever tries to contact you again, I'll know. And next time I won't be so merciful. Kendra should have been horrified. Should have called the police, insisted on proper channels, legal consequences. Instead, she wrapped her arms around Jihoon's neck and held on. He stiffened, then slowly, carefully, put his arms around her. Thank you, she whispered. Always, his hand came up to her hair. Always, Kendra, this is what I meant. This is what I can give you. You'll never have to be afraid again. She pulled back enough to look at him. What does that make me, if I let you do this? Mine, he said it simply. It makes you mine if that's what you want. I don't know what I want. Yes, you do. You're just afraid to say it. His hand slid to the back of her neck. Say it, Kendra. Say you want this. Say you want me. I want, she couldn't finish. Say it. I want to feel safe. The words came out broken. I want someone to care if I come home. I want to stop being invisible. I want. He kissed her. Not gentle, not asking permission, claiming. And God help her, she kissed him back. When he pulled away, they were both breathing hard. Pack a bag, he said. You're staying with me until your door is fixed, and then we're going to have a very long conversation about what this means, what I expect, what you need. what the rules are. Rules. I'm very specific about how I care for people. His thumb traced her bottom lip. You'll learn. She should have said no. Should have insisted on staying in a hotel, keeping distance, maintaining boundaries. Instead, she packed a bag. Instead, she got in his car. Instead, she let him take her home to his empty white apartment and tuck her into his guest bed and sit in a chair by the door until she fell asleep. And when she woke up at 3 a.m., he was still there, watching her like something precious he was afraid might disappear. You don't have to watch me sleep, she said. I know, but I want to. He didn't look away. I've been alone a long time, Kendra, and now you're here, so forgive me if I want to make sure you're real. I'm real. Good. He stood, walked to the bed, sat on the edge. I'm not going to be easy to be with. I'm jealous, possessive, controlling. I'll want to know where you are, who you're with, what you're doing. I'll buy you things you don't need and get angry when you refuse them. I'll probably suffocate you with attention and make you feel like you can't breathe. That's not a good sales pitch. I'm not selling, I'm warning. His hand found hers. But I'll also make sure you never feel alone again, never feel invisible, never feel afraid. I'll protect you, provide for you, pay attention to every tiny detail of your existence like it matters. Because to me, it does. You matter. Tears stung her eyes. Why? I don't know. I just know that I saw you and something clicked, and now I can't imagine going back to before. He lifted her hand to his lips. Stay with me, Kendra. Not because you're afraid. Not because you have nowhere else to go. But because you want to. Because you're tired of being invisible and I'm tired of being alone. What if it doesn't work? Then I'll let you go, I promise. No Singapore situation. If you want out, you can leave. I won't stop you. His eyes met hers. But I don't think you will. I think you're going to stay. And I think eventually you're going to be happy you did. You can't know that. No, but I'm betting on it anyway. He stood. Sleep. Tomorrow we'll talk details, rules, expectations. Make sure we understand each other. Jihoon. He turned at the door. I'm not afraid of you anymore, she said. I'm afraid of how much I don't want to leave. He smiled, real and warm and devastating. Good, that's exactly where I want you. The door closed softly. Kendra lay in the dark, her heart racing, and knew she'd just made a choice she couldn't take back. She'd walked into the monster's home willingly. And the truly terrifying part, she didn't want to leave. 6 months later, Kendra stood in Jihoon's apartment, their apartment now, and watched the sun set over the Han River. She wore one of his shirts, comfortable in a space that had slowly filled with her things. Books, plants, color. Her old apartment was long gone. Her job had shifted entirely to working for Seongnam Trading, though now she understood what that really meant. She was part of it, part of him. She'd learned the rules, the expectations, the careful boundaries of his world. And she'd learned that he'd meant it when he said he'd never hurt her. He was demanding, yes. Possessive, absolutely, but never cruel, never dismissive. He noticed everything about her and treated each detail like it was precious. She'd become visible in a way that should have felt suffocating. Instead, it felt like being seen for the first time. What are you thinking? Jihoon's arms came around her from behind. That I should hate this, that I should want to leave. But you don't. No, she leaned back against him. I don't. Does that make me broken? No, it makes you human. His lips brushed her temple. Everyone wants to be seen. You just found someone willing to look. Her phone buzzed. A text from Minji, his sister, who she'd finally met last month during a visit. They'd become friends, much to Jihoon's delight. She wants to know if we're coming to Boston for Thanksgiving. Do you want to? Yes. Then we will. He turned her in his arms, happy. Kendra thought about it, really thought about it. She wasn't free. She was watched, protected, possessed. Her life was tied to a dangerous man who'd done terrible things and would probably do more. But she was safe, seen, cared for in a way she'd never been before. Yes, she said, I think I am. He kissed her, and she kissed him back, and outside the window, Seoul glittered in the darkness. She'd come to this city to be invisible. Instead, she'd found someone who refused to look away. And sometimes, that was its own kind of salvation. Even if the savior was a monster. If this story kept you reading till the end, don't forget to hit that like button and drop a comment below. What did you think of Kendra's choice? Would you have stayed or run? Let me know. And if you want more stories like this, dark, intense, and impossible to put down, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss the next one. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. See you in the comments.